very interesting. There's already, from what we can see, there's 7 obtained goals on the board.
Yep. We're in the middle of round 5, the last Swiss round. After this, we'll have a bracket with those with more wins than losses in the upper bracket and more losses than wins in the lower bracket. But yeah, we should be getting started soon. Counted the races off already, but there's some stream delay. So I believe they are playing on completely default settings. Easy, default start, mini super chunk pit.
They are doing regular settings. They have not decided to change anything between them. Choco has the base Hollow Knight skin, but Locus has a fancy custom one. I don't actually know which skin that is, I just know that it's custom.
Yeah, looks like some sort of light themed skin. So yeah, as Pyro said, there are quite a few obtained goals on this board. Obtain Wanderer's Journals, Simple Keys, Glowing Womb Weaver Song, Pale Ore, Lantern, Sprint Dash Master. It's 5 Hullness seals. In addition to things like entering the Lifeblood Core room, which needs a bit King's Brand, and riding stags.
Not only that, but there's also quite an early goal on the board with Vengeful King and Massive Mosh Charm.
Yep, that goal will be available as soon as they get any green path access, usually in the form of a Balder Killer.
It would
but it looks like they're both.
If they had something like wings.
Yeah, looks like they've both picked up King Station Stag from Fury. That'll be pretty easy right side access, though there's not that much they can do there right now.
There's not much they can do at the moment, but having Kingside this early, depending on what... Oh, LocusSK getting a simple key, meaning that already we have right waterways in place.
Yep. Also so buying strength, which is quite nice.
I'm waiting for the chat to start speculating about all of Hollow Knight's favorite. We have one of the 3 required things for.
So it looks like Locus will be checking grubs. There's 12 grubs for wings. That could be important. 11 for Grimchild.
Steady body at 1. That would be nice if it was a goal, but not on this board.
Yeah. Looks like Choco skipping grubs, rushing straight to Moloch. Interesting play this early on.
A very there is something that might be good if they don't have access to resting grounds for a while, and that is resting ground stag for 6.
Yeah, not too expensive. You can theoretically get up to resting grounds with that King Station stag, but it's not in logic because it requires a actually not too easy pogo.
Choco here following the rules of my copy pasta. More like one of the 3 major early game big plays that you can do out of logic.
I'm surprised that Choco didn't even buy strength and equip it for this fight. It would have made this fight much shorter, but
that extra 2 damage per nail swing would really accumulate a lot of damage during.
Yeah, I think Moloch has something like 300 HP, which is 60 base nail swings, but with strength, I believe that brings it down to like 43, which is quite a lot less. Meanwhile, Locus doing
hold 17.
A different
17, you could easily die.
Yeah. Locus
and
is
Locus doing the second of the 3 checks.
Yeah. Wayward Compass.
They really like making me happier. These.
Yep.
Oh. Some here in the chat correcting. It's 3 damage, not 2.
Wait, is it 3 damage, that too?
Yep.
I could have sworn
So
it's only
thank
2
you, Sam.
damage.
Choco failing the double kill, but he did get one of the acids, so it's fine. Oh, look at Sans, and that's a goal for Locus.
Yep.
An early lead due to Choco doing Morley. Very unfortunate.
Yeah. Looks like Choco will also be doing this, or, okay, no, it looks like he's giving up on it.
Eventually didn't want to cooperate, so he decided to not do it.
And there's a
finding
Dream Nail. Pretty expensive. Locus has almost no money left.
But then again,
not-
they do have relics, and they have Lem access straight away, so...
Yeah, but Lem is
This is
fairly
not-
far away.
He is far away, but he isn't insanely far away.
Yeah, and Dream Nail isn't all too useful at this stage of the game.
Oh, and here's
there's
another divergence.
Not much you can do immediately.
Choco is going straight for shops, whilst Locus is going for full. A lot of different plays between the two. So far, Locus has been getting slightly luckier with them.
Yeah, I think people tend to like the False Knight route a bit better than shops early on because it gives 3 in logic checks, while shops only count as about 1 check per shop due to how the randomizer logic works. But with all the random goals on the board, shops become more valuable, as that 1 check per shop I mentioned only applies for progression, while shops can have many more random goals like charms and such.
Locus has just finished False Knight. Let's see what he is hiding behind himself. And meanwhile, Choco is going... Oh, dive! Early dive this seed, and now Resting Grounds is so that much more powerful.
And there's a Boulder Killer, if not in logic, from Locus.
I mean, he did just get a logic Boulder Killer with dive, so...
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to use unless he wants unless he wants to do
can
it
always
as a
show
power move.
off. So with dive, I would like to see Locus rushing VKMMC here, because that's pretty easy green path access and pretty easy access to those 2 goals. I guess you still do need a Shade Skip to get to Massive Moss Charger, but it's not too bad.
Now just to hope that Choco is not going to skip out on False Knight.
Yeah.
If something good at Sly appears, because not having that dive is going to be quite terrible for him.
Yeah, dive is a pretty important movement ability.
The only
Nothing
thing
at Soul Catcher, unfortunate.
The only things that Claw can't get to are the things that Dream Nail... not Dream Nail, that dive block.
Not quite true, but sometimes it does feel like that. Certainly.
Oh, don't worry, I felt like that during my last race where there was literally no dives.
Yeah, that can certainly happen. Looks like there were some hollowness seals in shops. I don't know if there are enough to get 5, but that is certainly something that might be on the racer's mind right now with the 5 hollowness seals goal on the board, and pretty easy Lem access as well.
Okay, Choco is deciding to go to False Knight, so he's going to be finding that dive. On the meanwhile, Locus is already in green path, so he's got a great advantage over Choco with the Bench Viking and Massive Moss Charger.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Choco, this does seem like where intended progression is taking them. So you'll probably be following Locust around for a bit, which is never something you want to be doing in Lockout. That is a good point from chat. I do not believe Locust read the Pilgrim's Way Lord tablet at the entrance to Green Path. So he'll have to come back for that goal.
Yeah, so Choco might be able to edge him out on that, especially if Locust gets both Massive Moss Charger and Vengefly King early. That way Choco doesn't even have to waste time fighting those two.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty quick fights, though I guess the Shade Skip to Massive Moss Charger is a bit lengthy.
And it doesn't help that the only spell they're going to have is Dive. And with Dive,
but they do have Strength.
Fights are... Yeah, they do have Strength, you're right. That would make fights slightly less unbearable.
Locust struggling a bit with this Squid Skip. There's a much easier way of getting this grub, of just hitting down the block at the top. I don't know if Locust is just not informed or stubborn about making this.
Locust has played so much rando that he has forgotten basic vanilla Hollow Knight.
Indeed.
How does one do Green Path without movement? Locust being at 1 HP did scare me.
At least Locust didn't stick to his... it looks like Locust isn't sticking to his any percent roots and going to upper Green Path first, though.
Locust is collecting grubs, probably because Dive does make grinding the grubs for resting grounds much more useful.
Yeah, you get access to Crypts, which is 2 checks without vertical, and then 2 checks with vertical. And as well as Flower to Elderbug, eventually.
And it gives you access to some of the King Station checks, which are way easier that way, as you don't have to do the annoying enemy.
Yeah. He's also probably grinding for wings at 12 grubs, which is certainly not in logic yet, but...
Is that reachable? Us why we shouldn't dive down that.
So I think, that wings is not reachable yet. I don't think, no, it is.
Alex. Choco decided to do Morlick first without the strength that Locust bought, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah, and he also chose to do shops. While Locust did not.
And that also did not pay off because False Knight had intended progression.
Yeah. But yeah, right now they could theoretically access 5 grubs in Crossroads, though 1 needs a Pogo, and 4 grubs in Green Path, though 1 needs a Shade Skip, the Massive Moss Charger one. Then they could get 2 in King Station, though 1 of them needs a Pogo again. And 1 in Basin, which is pretty far away, but is reachable with Dive. So theoretically, that would be 12 grubs.
Another thing that is theoretically in logic, due to the fact that they do have King Station, is the relic on the way to the other King's Isvarafter's relic. That's one of the checks that Choco could do that could end up being progression of some sort.
Yeah.
And the other one is the relic down on the path to
Basin?
Yeah, the relic down to Basin.
I think that one actually requires dash in order to be an easy logic. I think it's considered a spike tunnel without dash, actually.
Easiest spike tunnel in the game. I can say now that I can do spike tunnels with no dash or anything. Look at me.
Yeah. But yeah, Aiden brings up a good point. The Waterways grub is also in logic because they have a simple key. So that is 13 reachable grubs, not all of them in easy logic. certainly not enough
Not
for
only
that
that,
wings to
there's
be in
also
logic yet.
a couple of checks in waterways that could also
Yeah.
end up being in logic. They have
Yeah.
the... Okay, so in logic, there's the one to the right of the bench. Considering they have dive, it's even easier now. There's also the mask shard in the lower path down the grub tunnel. Oh, Locust getting Mantis
Yep,
Claw.
Locust found Claw. So that puts a lot of things in logic now. And you won't even have to do a shade skip to get to this massive moss charger. Hopefully Choco will still continue in upper green path and find that Claw, but he might not go there once he sees Locust mark this goal.
Also, Choco here being very informed and doing the normal way of getting this grub.
Yep. And that will be a second goal for Locust, along with a nice 300 Geo.
This also puts Salubra in logic, so Choco would have easy access to Salubra now. Sadly, he doesn't have Claw yet.
People are claiming in chat that this is a baby seed, but claw-only movement, I think, is still quite interesting, because
Claw-only movement
horizontal...
is annoying.
I mean, annoying, interesting, same thing, right? Like,
I mean, you have access to a ton
there's
of
a lot
stuff,
of things...
yeah, but to get that access, you literally need to take so many workarounds.
So that was Descending
Yes,
Dark for
Claw
Locust.
is worse charm.
Nice, nice upgraded spell, but not additional movement. Yep, they're really looking for horizontal at this point. Horizontal would open a lot of things up. Like, there's actually surprisingly many checks you can't get with just claw and no horizontal. Like, for example, in green path you can't get.
I'm quite surprised here. Locust, instead of going for the final check, considering it does just require claw, is instead whopping back to the bench in King Station.
I mean, that check is fairly long, and Locust may have forgotten that he could do it with claw. Like, it's pretty easy to like have a plan for what you're going to do. In this case, like, you know, kill massive boss charger, then get the 2 checks behind it with a shade skip, and then you find some progression and don't quite register that makes a bit more things possible. Meanwhile, it looks like Locust is heading over to Edge.
Now he does have to have way more. He needs to spend way more time coming back to that check when he does come back.
Yeah. But it looks like he's also just rushing goals here. He's going towards Edge, probably going to break that 420 Geo Rock, though that does require a more significant Spike Tunnel skip than the Basin Journal one. Yeah. I'm surprised he isn't going for Resting Grounds and Crypts. That's a lot of checks along with Flower to Elderbug as a goal.
We are lucky, though, that Choco is deciding to do top green path.
Yep, so he will be finding his claw here, which is good for him. Oh yeah, that's a good point. 2 Nail Masters is also here. So
Locust doing,
going here and Cliffs would get that goal. Yep. Pilgrim's Way lore tablet's also available, though it is a long walk through Thought Canyon into Fungal. Yep.
Choco's still doing Bench Flanking.
Probably just wants that money. They are pretty low on money.
That would seem like it. There's still 2 shops to go to, plus a ton of stag stations.
Yeah. Claw was at Green Path Stag, so Choco picking up that money is pretty fortunate for not having to farm Geo for that. And that was Queen Station Stag, I believe, at Oro, which is not quite on
Queen's
the board.
Garden Stag.
Yep.
It's always the one that you don't want. And nearly always it's the Queen Station Stag, because for some reason that goal is never on the board, it's always Queen's Gardens. It does work well with Mamu, which sadly this board does not have, so Queen's Gardens is way less useful of a place to check.
Looks like Locus is attempting perhaps the spike tunnel.
Oh wait, Choco has Quick Slash. Where did he get that?
I think that was probably at a shop, I would imagine. I didn't quite catch it either.
Oh, Locus doing the skip, so he can now break the Geo Rock.
And also save the scrub.
Oh, Quick Slash was at his Elder. So whilst Locus here got Unbreaking
Oh,
Strength
Locus
from
did
Elder.
not. Locus did not gather enough soul to do this. You need 2 spells worth of soul to entering that room to be able to go all the way to the bottom. There's some hoppers on the way to
Locus
let you
did not
refill
do
back up
Hornet
on soul.
when he was up there, did he? He rushed
Nope,
straight
he
for
rushed
passive much charge.
straight for goals.
So Choco getting this, and if he finds something useful here, this might be an advantage.
But it's only
might not
Unbreakable
be
Heart. It's a useful charm, but not progress towards a goal, unfortunately, for Choco. So Lucas will be shortly getting his 420 Geo and another goal. Pretty far ahead at this
Meanwhile,
point.
Choco is going to. It seems he's going to Howling Cliffs.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting route to Howling Cliffs. Going from the bottom up instead of going back to King's Pass and going from the top down. I think I prefer going down.
It does give him Bowler Shell very early though, so if that's something good, he's going to get it much sooner than Locus is, considering he's most probably going to be going through the much more used route.
Yes, but like you still get Bowler Shell either way, and I think climbing up cliffs is fairly annoying, personally. Meanwhile, Locust looks like he's actually going to go do shops instead of immediately getting that check 2 Nail Master's goal.
He doesn't have any rush, but he doesn't know that he can do it. Choco is a bit confused about this Bowler Shell check.
Seems like he's got it in the end, though.
He did get a hefty amount of Geo from it. Oh, he's got Dreamgate.
That is a pretty nice ability, though. One that I think it's one that's underrated sometimes by people. Dreamgate lets you
does
route
need
quite
essence
nicely
to make it work. But the nice thing about this is the Enter Life.core room goal and how it makes it way easier. Also,
There's Shopkey, yeah. As well as
Sly now has even more chances of having progression.
Yeah, there was also a bunch of there was at least one Wanderer's Journal and at least one Halna Seal there. Looks like Locust might actually be heading over towards
Oh, and Choco finally gets his first goal. He finally got glowing.
Yeah. Looks like Locust will be getting that use 2 simple key goal here at Pleasure House and Waterways. Meanwhile, he'll also probably go sell to Lem and make progress towards that Wander Journal and Holness Seal goal.
And the meanwhile, Choco is doing a thorough check of Cliff.
That looks like the second Holness Seal from Locust, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Choco on the meanwhile going to Grim. So that's going to be interesting. Many people don't decide to do this check before getting Grimchild because of how long this cutscene.
Yeah, it's a bit nicer if you do it as your last check-in cliffs, though it's pretty awkward to do that since it's in the middle of cliffs. But if you hit the brazier and then press escape as soon as like you see the flame actually appear, you can just warp out and not have to sit through the entire cutscene, at least.
Oh, and the chat does make a valid point that he could have just gotten Grimchild with only 5 more grubs.
Yep. This will be a 4th goal for Locus now, with a 2nd simple key used. And I wouldn't be surprised if he sold to Lem and immediately warped out to get those Wanderer's Journals and Wellness Seals, but it looks like he is going to be tracking Rafters at least.
That would be something that he could do.
Choco is struggling a bit climbing up cliffs.
Choco might be doing the modlog play and might find one of the 2 stations that we want.
Yeah. Choco showing off just how annoying this cliffs climb with just claw is.
Messing up.
That's a really unfortunate fall. Oh, and there's dash at Rafters. That's huge.
This was available to them for a while now.
Yep. Dash and claw is a pretty good combination of movement. One horizontal, one vertical. You can get almost anywhere.
Map set. Dash opens up a ton of things, and claw opens up the rest. Now the only things left are things that you can either skip with pogos, or things that you can't skip unless you go through a ton of trouble. Like going to Crystal Guardian, which I hope none of them do until they get wings.
That shade skip is not that bad with Dreamgate, which Choco does have.
With Dreamgate, it isn't that bad, but it's still annoying to have to deal with your shade and fight Crystal Guardian one.
So what you can do is you can actually lure your shade outside of the room, or not outside of the room, but like outside of the arena, so that when you hit Crystal Guardian and the gates slam down, your shade will be trapped outside of the gates. And then as long as
Choco is returning to Stone Sanctuary, which means that he might either be doing the checks to the left of the Massive Moss Charger, he might be doing he might be going over to Queen Station.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be true. That's green path stag, annoying. Not a useful stag.
I was really hoping he would be doing Dark No Ice, filling out the trilogy of the good old check.
That is a dreamer for Choco. Unfortunately, not very useful on this board unless there's something at Black Egg Temple, which is fairly unlikely. And will only make things harder in Crossroads.
Yeah, it is quite useless. They pretty much have enough grubs, both of them, to get Resting Ground Stag, which Locus seems to be going for.
No, it looks like he's reading lore tablets.
Oh, he remembered that he didn't read it.
I mean, Wazanki, they both have claw. They do not need infection to get the well check.
Choco doing the relic check and going to Queen's Garden.
No, it looks. I think he's just going to Mount. I don't think he has a nail art to actually lever skip into Queen's.
But doing this check is not that bad considering it's out of the way. Locus most probably hasn't done it, so if he wants to get back in some way, shape, or form, he should be doing stuff that Locus has not done yet.
Yeah. Locus, meanwhile, buys a 4th Wanderer's Journal at Lake Eater. There's almost certainly another one somewhere in shops. So as soon as he sells to Lem, he should be able to snag that goal.
The Squid's being quite an annoying enemy gauntlet. It's not hard in any way, shape, or form, but it is quite annoying.
Yeah, sometimes the squids can just zoom past you when you miss them, and it's pretty annoying to go chase them down. And that is a 5th goal for Locus, showing off his knowledge of Hollow Knight lore.
Mossbag would be proud.
Indeed. And now he'll go and get 2 Nail Masters, probably? Or, no, he's warping out. Interesting. Oh, he's gonna go do shops now. Pretty smart play. There were 2 Pale Ore at Sly, I believe chat pointed out, which were pretty expensive, but would give a goal on the board.
Did Locus check Leg Eater yet?
Locus did. There was not much. There was 1 Wanderer's Journal for pretty cheap that Locus bought, if I remember correctly.
Now that he's sold to Lem. Yep, that's
there's a 5th Wanderer's Journal
Wanderer.
and a 6th goal. Looks like he's gonna buy. Is that 3 seals? I can't quite tell from the stream quality. Yeah, I think that was 3.
Yeah,
and
that
this
was
is 4.
3 and this is 4. Vessel fragment for Choco. He's not buying it though because it's not anything useful.
And that's a 5th seal and a 7th goal. Shops proving to be pretty effective on this board.
Which is a shame because Choco has checked the shops quite. I am surprised that neither of them has decided to go to resting grounds yet. They both have enough grubs to get the stag.
Yes, but it's like not. It's not that great because there aren't that many goals on at resting grounds. There is Flower to Elderbug.
There is Flower to Elderbug, yeah, but with
that one is pretty long, and especially with Choco's lack of a dash and infection,
yeah.
that's not something I would want to do.
Choco finding Kingsbrand though, so now that King's Soul Fragment is slightly more useful. Still needs the other half to be of any relevance though.
Yep. Huh. I've updated the tracker, but it doesn't look like it's updating on stream. I don't know why. Like, the tracker does say 8 for me, and this is where you update the tracker place. Hopefully we'll get that fixed soon.
Locus did find Glowing Room just a second ago.
Yep. Meanwhile, Choco is climbing up towards Leg Eater now. We'll be doing this annoying jump with Claw only. You need to jump at the very edge and cling on to the other wall. It's quite annoying, actually.
There we go, it's now finally fixed.
Yep.
Now, doing goals for Choco, which goals could he do?
Looks like Locus is probably going to finish up getting 12 grubs here with this acid grub and probably the grub across from Grubfather in Crossroads and get his wings.
Actually, I just noticed one of the biggest memes of the Hollow Knight community is available now.
Which one?
Fluke.
That is in fact true. It's not in logic. It's not something I would want to do.
No, but it is in accessibility. And
I mean, yeah, you might as well
do it. It would be content.
You might as well go do Fluke Mom on the way to entering Godhome, right? Right?
Exactly. That's why, because Godhome is on the board, that is one of the things that Choco could do. He could go to Waterways, considering we haven't actually seen that much of it yet.
Yeah, and heading to Waterways would be good for Choco as well, because Dash is in Rafters, and heading to Waterways would probably mean he would check Rafters as well.
Locus getting his Monarch Wings and the Grim Trap.
Chat does bring up another good point. Watcher Knights is, in fact, the right call right now, as it always is.
I would beg to disagree. As everybody knows, Mantis Lords are always the right call.
That is pretty true as well. They can both be the right call. It's okay.
Locus having the goal lead and the movement lead. Choco really isn't having a... I think from my point of view, him just going to resting grounds would have been a way better choice, considering it's a ton of checks that are quite quick, and he would have the ability to get some move. And even now, yeah. Locus has been there, but he decided not to do much in it. Oh no, wait, never mind.
He was just going to equip Dash Master. Yeah, here, I believe Locus is in fact rushing goals. Like, this is Flower to Elderbug. Locus has basically been just constantly rushing goals and doing the quick checks next to them, though it looks like he's a bit undecided right now. I think he was thinking about whether or not he wanted to open that chest and risk getting a Dreamer.
Now that is smart, not getting any checks until he does the goal to avoid infection. Choco, on the other hand, did get a Dreamer from Boulder Shell, which Locus sadly did not get. So.
I don't think it was a Boulder Shell. Boulder Shell was Dream Gate, which Locus did pick up.
It was.
I forget what... I think the Dreamer was somewhere on the way to Queen Station.
Oh. The Dreamer was... Tram.
Honestly,
the Sanctuary Journal was Monomon. I'm still waiting for Dark No Ice. If these two do both early Morleg and go Master Shard early, I am going to be ashamed if No Ice is going to be left till they have Lantern. But then again, it doesn't lead to any goals, and there are much better things to do right now, so...
Yeah, No Ice Dark Room is a check that isn't too hard to do in the dark, but it's just like one of those one-off checks that like is pretty easy to skip as like something that's fairly long and easy to come back to later. And there's a second spell for Choco in the form of Wraiths. Abyss looking a bit more palatable now, with the ability to check
and
streak.
Now that we have Wraiths, I think that does introduce Fluke Marm into Logic.
No, Fluke Marm needs either Shriek or Shade Soul specifically in easy Logic.
I didn't actually know that. I thought it was just either Fireball or Wraiths, so...
Nope. It recently got... Well, not so recently now. Maybe like a month ago got changed. We will, in fact, see if Locus is informed about Elderbug. Will this be another "the left door exists?" question mark? Okay. Locus looks to be informed, so did it a bit incorrectly. You need to talk to Elderbug first before entering a building to reset him.
And that's his goal. That is now 9-1. Choco here in a really tight spot. Luckily he is doing the two greatest words of the English dictionary here.
Mantis Lords?
Yep.
Indeed. Looks like
Look,
Locus will be heading
you
down
can
to
say your
waterways now.
blasphemous what phrases about Watcher Knights and them being the two greatest words of the English dictionary, but you can't beat the truth. Mantis Lords are, in fact, the best things to ever exist.
It is a pretty good fight, especially when you get to guard him and get to fight Sisters of Battle.
Not only that, they also just provide you with 3 easy checks once you beat them, so...
I mean, so do Watcher Knights.
But with these, all you need to do is have the movement that let you get there. With Watcher Knights, you also need to have Dream Nails, so not only do you need to have Claws, something that you can do Mantis Lords with just on its own, but you also need Dream Nail, which is very annoying to get sometimes. Especially since it isn't really a movement ability.
Locus very smartly remembering the 2 Pale Lords.
And that is a 10th goal. This situation is even worse than the race we had, yes. Actually, this reminds me completely of what happened yesterday. One racer had way less goals, and the only movement they had claw and no dash, whilst the other person got dash quite early. History likes to repeat itself.
Indeed. Locus unfortunately forgot to store up some soul to get Dung Defender out of the ground. And that's
Choco
Mantis Lords
finishing
defeated for Choco.
Also, we forgot about Cornifer, but Cornifer is only in Super Junk Pit, so he's a conditional 4th check, whilst Watcher Knights still is just 3. Meaning that Mantis Lords have another reason why they are better than Watcher Knights. Now, if Choco wants to have a chance at coming back, there has to be some sort of dupe or something that lets Choco come back at the Mantis Lord chest.
I highly doubt Choco can come back at this point. Things are pretty dire. Locus can just go straight to God Home after this, way ahead of Choco on that.
Yeah.
Locus can go visit Shrine of Believers, way ahead of Choco on that as well, with wings already. And Resting Ground Stag as well. There's a Bistrick at least for Choco, but it's definitely too little too late.
So, hopefully now that will... No, Locus is already going to God Home, so... Choco moving there now wouldn't be that useful. But a Bistrick might convince him to go that direction. Now that he does have Fluke Mom in logic.
Don't die, Locus.
If Locus dies, that would be great for Choco.
Of course, but that was pretty amusing. Barely able to escape those flukes with Dash Master.
Yeah, the flukes are probably the most annoying enemies of the game. At least they are.
Looks like he won't be choosing to do Fluke Marm. Unfortunate, but sadly optimal.
Choco is Choco going for Predator? He can get Dash Master, but I don't think he can get Predator with just Claw. Or at least not an easy logic.
Yeah, certainly not an easy logic.
Yeah,
you might be able to do it with Air Stall. You might need Cyclone. I hear there's something cursed with Cyclone.
Everything's cursed when it comes to Cyclone. Locus in the 1-hit range, but getting over to God Home.
Yep. So after this, I imagine Locus's next move will be something like CG2 or is it Shrine of Believers? I think those are comparably quick. Locus could go for the spice and do 6 stalking to bounty instead.
Or he could just try to get one of the random goals, which, to be honest, isn't that good of an idea.
That is 12 for Locus. Almost the end now. This might be Glowing Worm, which would be pretty nice. Not too bad with Dash Master. Though, of course, not an easy logic.
Oh, I think that Locus, instead of doing any of those, is deciding to go off logic, and Can you do that with just Dash Master?
You can, in fact, do Glowing Worm with just Dash Master and no air stall. I honestly think it's easier than with air stall, but Locus is pogoing a bit too early here.
And whilst that's happening, Choco still hasn't remembered that there's resting ground stag at Grubs.
I honestly don't know what Choco is doing at this point. He might be trying to look for that dash. Unfortunately, he's not going over to Left City to get it. Yeah, I'm surprised he isn't like rushing.
He doesn't have any reason to.
Though I guess you can't actually get there with just Claw.
Locus placing down a Dream Gate, but needing Essence to actually use it. I think I know what Choco is doing. I think he's trying to grind for the Monarch Wings that were at Grubs.
Yeah, that might be it. He might also be following Locus because he probably suspects that Locus has some sort of an advantage. You might suspect that Locus had dash as early as the 420 Geo Rock, in fact. So you might suspect that Locus found dash here, and there we see a pretty nice spike tunnel from Locus.
Getting the...
Yep, took quite a few tries, but got into the end. So this will be GG for Locus. Pretty one-sided race. I think one of the main stories of this race was Locus rushed goals while Choco did not, and Choco chose to do some quite out-of-the-way long checks like Moloch.
It really just started him off at a disadvantage. Anyway.
Yep. And that is GG.
That's Locus done.
So we'll be inviting the racers to interview. I think that was one of... Hello, Locus. Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel like I got pretty blessed by that seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got really blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, finding dash was pretty good for you, certainly. Choco never found dash. Choco ended with just Claw.
Yeah. This race was really similar to the one that happened yesterday between me and Gun, where I decimated because I had dash from the very beginning and he didn't find dash at all. And here it's the same exact thing where you got dash early and Choco didn't get dash at all.
Yeah. It was the kind of thing where I was like, I know I'm up on progression and on like areas of the map, so I was like, I feel like I can just get away with doing a little bit more checks. And then as soon as I found dash, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stop doing that now, and I'm just gonna just finish goals because I had everything I needed for them.
Yeah, we saw you skip like you didn't check like any of waterways before going to Dung Defender and God Home. We saw you purposefully ignore that chest in Crypts.
Well, I ignored the stag and I ignored Dream Shield as well, and half of that was because I would have been so heartbroken if one of those was a dreamer, and then
Choco
I had to do that whole trip.
Choco had a dreamer. He had found Monomon earlier in the race.
Yeah, it was beneath Stone Sanctuary. Yeah, I once in a like 2v2 blackout found a dreamer while doing flower to elderbug at progression egg because I decided to check it.
Oh god. Let me generate a spoiler log. 'Cause I'm curious what all that stuff
I'm
that I
also
skipped
generating a
was.
spoiler log.
Oh, one interesting thing that you skipped. What are your thoughts on skipping the massive moss charger and vessel fragment?
Oh, I just always forget it's there. I didn't think too much of it.
Yeah, I was wondering because you had claw. That was something quick if you were already there.
Yeah, what was it?
I have no idea. I'm still generating the spoiler log.
All right, perfect. I'm gonna check here too. Spoiler log.
And yep, Desolate Dive was in fact the intended progression because that's literally the first progression item.
Yeah.
Oh,
I figured that was. Oh, also, did he do? I don't know if he's in here by now. Did he do Moloch immediately?
yes, he
that
did
is-
more like
yeah.
immediately.
Okay, yeah, that's why I took so much time doing grubs or checking grubs on the way down and doing Gome Mask Shard, just because I imagined he'd do Moloch immediately. Yeah, let's see, what else was there? Okay, Resting Grounds. What did I miss?
The fact that
Oh, it was just
he
an
didn't
egg.
find Cloak in City Rafters, he actually did get enough to have Fluke and Logic, so I was hoping that he would be able to get Fluke Mom and maybe get the Fluke play for the chat, but
Yeah, I was.
by then you got...
There was a part of me that was like, Rafters has to be something, or it's very likely to be something, just because like
And then it was.
we had King Station Stag so early, and that really doesn't put that much in logic.
Also, the Monarch Wings at Grubs.
Yep.
That was actually the dupe.
Oh,
The
City of
intended
Tears.
Monarch Wings was
Simple
the
key.
simple key in City of Tears, so...
Yeah. I figured at 12 grubs it wasn't that bad. I just like figured
And
I'd route
here's
wings in.
something that I feel bad for because I said that this was an easy check very early when King Station was available. The Vessel Fragment on no, that's Vessel Fragment Basin. That's the... I was thinking Relic there, but no, that's Vessel Fragment. So Crystal Heart was actually at 3000 Geo. That was intended, and not the dupe.
Okay. Did we need C-Dash for anything? We needed it for... No, I guess we don't really need it for anything.
No, not really. No.
But it would have been nice to have.
Yeah, shops were
Where's
very
the
strong
Harness
that
Seal
seed.
and Green Path? The Harness Seal and Green Path. Is that
That's
the
Acid Bridge.
Acid Bridge. Because that was Sprint Master, so even more mobility.
Just
Oh,
looking.
here's Queen's Garden Stag. Queen's Garden Stag in Lifeblood Core.
Oh.
This
God.
was something that you could have done. That was Dreamgate was found. We found 2 copies of Dream now, so
Yeah, just needed to find
entering the Lifeblood Core room wouldn't
King's
have been
Brand.
that hard. And
Yeah, I
Choco
think
also
that
had
was
Pink
somewhere in. Yeah, I think that was somewhere in left side fungal.
Alright, let me look. King's Brand. Sporgs. Okay, yeah, I just never checked
Yes,
Sporgs.
that was something that could have happened, and yeah, having that would have been quite effective.
What else? Hidden Station Stag, also. And then Lantern are the only other things that... Hidden Station Stag was at Shopkeeper's Key. Okay. I don't even know if I would have checked that going up to CG2, because I was thinking about doing CG2. But...
Yeah, that was a very nice spike tunnel from you at the end.
Oh, thank you. I just, like, I had it in my head that had to have
Oh
been the
my
fastest
God.
goal to finish.
Even better, Colosseum was stacked.
Oh, no. What was
A
it called?
Wraith and a Cloak.
Oh, wow.
Well-
So, yeah, no wonder dashes weren't being found.
Yeah, I do think. I do think
another
Glowing
Cloak
Gloom
was
was.
at the Nosk Pale Ore. And the last
God.
one that wasn't found was the Rancid Egg in Upper Kingdom's Edge.
Okay.
So even on the way to Colo,
You would have
there
found
was
them.
even more to do.
Yep.
Which is Pale Lurker, that would have been a goal that could have been done. We actually forgot about it, but Locust could have also done that. And I think it would have been even... It wouldn't have probably been faster than Glowing Wound, but it would have for sure been easy.
Yeah, I think Pale Lurker or CG2 were the ones that I was like debating between if I wasn't going to be able to get that spike tunnel, because I've never done that spike tunnel before.
Just a second.
That was very good for your first try.
The chat here is asking what was in Hive.
Let me check.
Because there was because the flower had a tram pass,
yeah.
so
Hive was a rancid egg and a hollowness seal. So
okay. Useless.
I got a little bit scared when I saw that there. I was like, oh no, what if this seed happens to go late and there's something in Hive? But we were okay. Yeah, Lantern was in Stagnest Egg, so I could have went back up and checked that, but I don't know whether I would have thought to.
Now, here's the thing. You're lucky that you didn't have dash when you went to get the dive. The rancid egg near Quick Slash, actually, you're lucky that you just didn't mess up and die there, because you probably would have checked that. That was hell. That would have made your life way harder when it comes to Delicate Flower Quest.
I'm gonna be real, I don't know what check that is. I know almost none of the lower edge checks.
For Rancid Egg, when you dive down, there's the gap on the left side. That's where the Rancid Egg resides, just at the bottom of it.
Don't I need vertical for that?
No. You can theoretically do a fake dive or make 2 trips.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I could just get it on the way down again. I thought I needed wings.
If you had died there, you would have been quite screwed when it comes to... It would have taken much longer to get the flower to Elderbug, and you probably would have had a way higher chance.
I might have just given up on it. I might have just done like Shrine of Believers and Lurker or something instead.
Yeah, anyways, intended Isma's tier was at the Rancid Egg in Weaver's Den.
Oh god.
Whilst Lumafly Lantern was at Stagnest Stag.
Yeah, that's pretty late.
While Stagnest Stag was at the Charm Notch in Fog Canyon.
Yeah. Where was the other Ismas?
Actually,
I was thinking about that. But
at Dreamgate.
Oh, Dreamgate. Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was something for
Essence.
I guess.
Yeah, I never even checked Essence. I was thinking about it. Okay, that was fun though. Yeah, I think I got pretty blessed by having dash, but I also think my early routing was okay. Trying to think about my early stuff.
Choco is not joining due to the fact that he doesn't want to be laughed.
That is reasonable.
I mean, fair. I guess he's feeling the same way that Sal felt yesterday. Literally, the races, yesterday's race between me and Sal and your race against Choco, they feel like mirror, like the race from yesterday was mirrored onto this one, just with even more decimation.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it makes sense. Like, I don't think Choco like super practices this, and I've been doing like 4 or 5 races a day for like the past 2 weeks.
4 or 5 races a day?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So like, this is something I've been working a lot on.
Out from that?
I don't know. I wanted to get good, so I figured this is something I should have done. How about that green path grub in the beginning? Oh, is there a different way to get that grub?
Yes.
Yeah. That is in vanilla.
That's how I've been always getting that grub.
Getting any movement. We were literally laughing about.
Yeah, so above the grub, there is one of those blocks held up by a vine that you can like hit down, such that you can like just go up there. It's a bit hidden, but like it's a hidden area, kind of like Super Secret Seal. But if you hit that block down, you can just like jump, and you don't need any movement.
I'm gonna walk there right now. I just want to see.
Joking. Oh look, it's Locust, the guy who has done so much rando that he has forgotten about what green path vanilla. And also because you're an any percent runner normally, aren't you? So
yeah, so
I've
just never really done this stuff.
Yep.
You're literally you have a phobia of bottom green path.
Yeah, I've kind of gotten used to it, but the first time I came down here to get that grub, I just assumed I'd have to pogo a fly. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's got to be above here somewhere.
So to those in chat,
There it is. Perfect.
to those in chat who just arrived, unfortunately, the race is over now. It was a very short one. There will be another one tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, as well as one tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and 3 more races on Saturday as well. So lots of races coming up. Meanwhile, if you're interested in Hollow Knight Randomizer, we have a great community on the Hollow Knight Discord. We do races all the time. I believe yesterday we had like a 12-person race or something.
Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah, it was very large. We're pretty casual most of the time. We do like blackouts and lockouts and all sorts of things. So yeah, if you're interested, definitely check that out.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. And thanks for the race. That was good.
Yep. I think we're about done here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good day
Goodbye to everyone.
or night.